Hey guys, so this video is just a refresher on how to use the substitution method because it's been like 2 weeks since a lot of you have probably done it. And a lot of you still had questions about it even from when we did it together. So I'm doing 2 examples on a video of substitution method because for Tuesday's assignment for this first week of virtual learning, it's just any method you choose for solving a system of equations. So you can do graphing, you can do substitution, or you can do elimination, okay? So I wanted to review substitution with you guys. Hopefully you remember how to graph. If not, let's review that real quick too. So to graph, both equations have to be in y equals. And then once they're in y equals, this one's already in y equals, so we'll talk about this one. Your base, you would start that line at negative 11 on the y-axis. And then the slope of this one is up 6 over, and there's nothing that goes over, so it's an understood 1. So on my graph, I would start down at negative 11, and then I would go up 6 over 1, up 6 over 1. And then for this bottom one, you'd have to solve for y, but then do the same thing, okay? Graphing by hand, we already talked about this, is not the fastest way. A lot of you guys are saying you like elimination best, which is great. This one you could definitely do elimination, but first we'd have to move the 6x, then we'd have to multiply. So, I mean, it does take a while too. This one's actually set up for substitution. So let's review substitution really quick together. All right, for substitution, you want it to say either x equals or y equals. One of these equations already says x or y equals. It's this top one. So this says y equals 6x minus 11. That means where you see the y in the other equation, you can put in 6x minus 11. It's like giving it a gift. We talked about that, okay? So this is going to be negative 2x. I'm not changing that. Minus 3, but instead of a y, I'm putting in 6x minus 11 equals negative 7. So from here, I'm just going to solve. The first thing I've got to do is distribute my negative 3. Remember, PEMDAS, you got to do parentheses first. So negative 3 times 6x is negative 18x. Negative 3 times negative 11 is going to give me positive 33. It should equal negative 7. I'm bringing that down, and I'm also bringing down the minus 2x. All right, so from here, draw your wall. Anything on a side that can be combined together, we're going to combine first. So if you guys look right here, they both have x's. They're on the same side. I can combine them. The signs are add. So 18 plus 2 is going to give me 20x, and they're both negative. Then I'm going to bring down the plus 33 and bring down the equals negative 7. Now when I cover my x, how do I move a positive 33? You should subtract it. All right, so this is negative 20x. I'm just bringing it down. Equals 33 plus 7 gives me 3 plus 7 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Negative 40. And then I get this x by itself by dividing negative 20 over to the other side. And so x is going to give me 2. So the x value is 2. So now I'm going to take that x value and I'm going to go substitute it in back into the equation I started with. That's what's different with substitution than elimination. So remember, elimination, I told you guys, it can always just go back into the original, the top one. But with substitution, the green one already gave this one a gift. So now this one should give a gift to the green one. Remember, we talked about that, kind of like when you're doing Christmas, nobody wants to give a gift and not get one, right? So we're going to give the 2 back to the green one, the one we started with. So instead of an x, I'm going to put in a 2. So y equals 6 times 2 minus 11. Okay? 6 times 2 is 12. So y equals 12 minus 11, which is 1. So the ordered pair where these two lines cross at, that's the solution to our system, is at the point 2, 1. Okay, so there's a refresher on substitution. We'll do one more because I had somebody ask me a really good question yesterday. But then you should be good. You can always video chat me or Google Voice me, okay? Let's look at this bottom one. So somebody yesterday after the elimination stuff video chatted with me and they got extra credit. And they said, for this one, if I wanted to use substitution, could I? Yeah, you can choose whichever method works for you. I show you guys multiple methods so that you have a better chance of getting it right if somebody gives it to you, okay? Because if you forget one method, hopefully you'll remember another one. So when I look at this one, my mind wants to eliminate because 2y and 2y already match. They just don't have different signs. So I'm going to need to go through and change all the signs so that they're opposites and eliminate. Okay, but one of your classmates doesn't really understand elimination. They wanted to do substitution, and they saw that this x was almost by itself. So if you want to substitute, you can. Watch what I'm going to do. To get x all the way by itself, I'm going to add the 2y to the other side to move it, right? So I've got x equals, now can you do 11 plus 2y? No, they don't both have a y. Please do not put 13y, okay? This is literally just 11 plus 2y. But now look at what you have. Doesn't this say x equals? So I can go put this 11 plus 2y in for the x in the other equation because it says x equals. So this is negative 7. Instead of an x, we're putting in 11 plus 2y. Then minus 2y equals negative 13. Okay, so now we just want to solve, and then we'll substitute back into the one we started with, which was this pink one, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do, PEMDAS parentheses, I'm going to distribute. Negative 7 times 11 is negative 77. Negative 7 times 2 is negative 14, and there was a y with it. Minus 2y equals negative 13. Draw my wall because we're trying to solve for this y. Now, before I start trying to move stuff and trying to solve, anything that's the same and is on the same side can be combined. So I want you guys to look at this left-hand side. We have two y's. Can we combine those? Yes. 14 and 2, they're both negative, so we can add them because they have the same signs. Makes negative 16y. Bring down your negative 77 and your equals and your negative 13. Okay, so now I'm going to cover my y. How do I move a negative 77? The opposite is to add it. That's what's going to move it to the other side. Okay, so now negative 16y is what I'm left with on the left, equals, these are different signs, which means we need to subtract. So look, I'm going to come over here and subtract them. 7 minus 3 is 4, 7 minus 1 is 6, and the bigger one was positive, so this is going to give me 64. Then I'm going to divide by negative 16. All right. Farron and Zion, my mental math people, 64 divided by negative 16 should be negative 4. Y'all could check me in a calculator, but I do believe that's right, okay? So now we know y is negative 4. We need to go give a gift back to the person that gave us one. So back to the one we started with, which would mean this y equals negative 4 is going to go right here. So x equals 11 plus 2. Instead of a y, remember we're putting in negative 4. Okay. 2 times negative 4, because remember you got to do parentheses first, still PEMDAS. 2 times negative 4 gives me negative 8. So this is 11 plus negative 8. Different signs, so we subtract. 11 minus 8 is 3. So the ordered pair where these two lines cross is negative, ooh, no it's not, negative 4 is the y. Y'all were about to let me mess up. Is 3 comma negative 4. Okay, so could you use elimination? Yes, my mind automatically goes to elimination. If you do elimination, you should still get 3 negative 4. but somebody asked, how would you do substitution? So this is how you would get one of the variables by itself, substitute that expression in, get a number for the y, and then put that back in to find the x, okay? If you need any more help with substitution or elimination, y'all know how to find me.